What is your take on nutrition after all these years?
After all these years, I think
for a man who eats 70 pounds red meat a day.
I was going to say.
No, I don't recommend that for people. I recommend, I think that for most people, a diet that is high in nutrients is what's really important. And nutrients are really found, the nutrients that our bodies can absorb really well are found in animal proteins and animal fats. So they're in the animal meat, right? And if we don't eat the animal meat, we're just not going to get that. So regardless of what your ethical concerns are, we can take that off the table. Like, that's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm just talking about for being as optimal as you can be, being as strong as you can be. I would say, put the animal proteins up front and the animal fats. Like, I just say like I do. I use steak. I'd say grass-fed beef, something like that in the sort of at your center, and eggs. I love eggs.
Yep.
I think there's not really too much issues with eggs for most people.
Yep.
And also, like, we are all different. Like, some people can't tolerate meat, but we find that the people that can't tolerate meat are it's a very small amount of people.
But why do I hear dairy's always demonized? Like,
it's demonized a lot, but I think it's yeah, I think it's a little bit unfair, because we say, people say, well, look.
Oh, that cracks me up.
Milk protein. Milk is for babies. Real men drink beer, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And that's maybe a reason. But also, a lot of people have issues with it. Yeah. A lot of people have skin issues. They have just all sorts of different issues with it. I eat a pretty low dairy diet. I don't eat a lot of cheese, and I don't eat a lot of dairy stuff. But I feel like it's okay for a lot of people, and for some people it's just not,
Right.
For some people it actually helps them get through the diet. Like, there's some people that are used to being, let's just face it, like, I was fat my whole life, so I can say it.
Preach.
Some people used to being a fat guy. I have fat guy mentality. So when I eat something, I want bacon and cheese on it, and avocado smashed in there and everything. So
that guy likes his
But I have a fat guy mentality, and a ketogenic diet. There's a lot of people that'll hear me talking and they'll be like, this guy's full of shit. It's not good for everybody. And blah, blah. Okay, whatever, right? I've studied it enough to know that there are healthy ways to do things and there's unhealthy ways to do things.
But I always say this with Brian, where with diets, like, this is what works for me.
Exactly.
It might work for you. I don't know, and man, this is what I'm doing, and I see great benefits from it.
And Brendan, that's the disclaimer I was trying to throw out there, so people know that, like, yes, not every diet is good for everybody, but there are a lot of things that we have in common that we can talk about, right? One of the things that we really need to look at is processed carbohydrates. That's usually the problem in most people's diet. Anything that comes in a box, bag, or can is probably not to be consumed by humans, right? But everything we eat comes out of a box, bag, or can nowadays. So we have to try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah.
Try to eat from nature as much as possible. I really don't think there'd be a lot of obesity on the planet if people just ate what came from the earth and that's it.
Yeah.
Right. So regardless of carbohydrates or macronutrient intake, I don't think you need to be 70% fat and 0% carbs in order to get lean. I think you need to be 0% bullshit. And you need to be.
Yeah. My buddy Tariq Azim he went to Afghanistan from 2003 or 2004 to 2008. And he was in Afghanistan, and it was during the war. But he was eating the food, like, he would get his dairy from the cow right there. Yeah. And he was eating the food that was there. They'd make the bread by hand and the rice. And he said in 4 years, 5 years, he never had a fucking cold. Like, in all the stress and all the insanity, he never got sick once. And either did anybody around him. He's like, the one thing I'll tell you is that as fucked up as that place was, nobody was sick.
I do even think that stuff like bread could probably be healthy if it was not preserved for, 6 years.
Well, the way they make
There's some sourdough bread. Like, if you go to Justa in Venice, they make it every morning. It's like,
and we know the problems with wheat. It's like there's been extensive whole documentary on what's with wheat and all that stuff. There's a lot of issues with, like, wheat and grains that people have, and, like, so that's another thing to consider.
It's also the type of grain that's grown with Roundup and different things. It may be that it's genetically engineered so that our body isn't recognizing it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's some work on Holstein cows, American Holstein cows. For whatever reason, the way they were bred, they produce a protein called alpha-casein A1 that European cows, goats, and sheep produce alpha-casein A2. And that protein, because it's been around long enough, our body absorbs it better. Yeah. So people say they're lactose intolerant. You might be actually intolerant to the protein from Holstein American cows.
That's totally true. And that's the same with, like, egg whites. Some people have a problem with the protein in eggs, not the fat.
Because it's fed corn and soy, so if you eat pasteuraized eggs,
the other thing that everybody
needs, bodybuilders just ate egg whites?
Yeah, egg whites, right? It's stupid.
It's hilarious. Uncle Pax did that.
It didn't make any sense, right? Because you're just eating the protein.
They just didn't know.
Should be eating the yolks.
They thought all the fat was in the, which it is.
And that's the other thing people need to realize is there is no 0, 0, 0. I can't say it enough. Correlation between the cholesterol you eat and the cholesterol in your blood. The people that when we have people keep saying that you can't eat eggs because they're high in cholesterol, like that's hurting people because cholesterol is what testosterone's made out of. Cholesterol is what our hormones are made out of. We need cholesterol. We need eggs. We need butter. We need these things. We don't want to get rid of it all. We want
precursors.
Yeah, we want to eat these things.
Eat eggs and get a boner.
Eat eggs. Eat avocados. Eat coconuts.
Call them boner eggs.
I think I just think that
I'll take my. Yeah, go ahead.
The more energy we put in, the good energy we put in, the more good energy we're going to put out, right?